Look, I'm blown away. I'm honestly blown away by that performance from Arsenal, especially in the second half. And you know why? Because we can't even say we made Bayern look average. Bayern did some impressive things tonight, and Arsenal rose above it. I thought it was a tactically fascinating battle, and I thought it was a game in which Arsenal grew into it, showed real physicality, real personality, real technical and elite quality at the highest level of European football. Many people had these two teams as the best in the world, or certainly in current form. And Arsenal rose above what was a stop-start first half, which I still think we had the best chances, and then in the second half blew Bayern Munich away. Arsenal was sensational. People are asking questions and making statements like, are Arsenal the best team in the world? And it is a fair question. People are asking me, I was on the TalkSport Goals show, they're asking me, can you win the Champions League? Could you win both the Premier League and the Champions League? We're talking about a club who've never won one and haven't won the other for over 20 years. Yet that's the way people are talking about Arsenal, because we were that good against Bayern Munich and have been that good most of this season. I thought it was a sensational game. I thought it was a brilliant second half, and I've got nothing but praise for this brilliant Arsenal team, who, like I said, didn't have it all their own way. This wasn't a game in which from minute 0 to 90, like Tottenham, we just battered them, did what we wanted, and came out with a nice 3-1 win. This is a game in which we had to figure out what was going on, quickly adjust and adapt. Every single player had to win their individual battles. Every player had to come off with an element of, I played my part. I stopped what I could stop. Now, not every player did. And again, that is what made the game so fascinating. We didn't win every individual duel. But what I was trying to say, sorry, to rephrase my point from 30 seconds ago, is that was the task. That was the game plan from Arteta. Now, I'm going to do a live stream on the Goonerverse very shortly after this video goes out. And we're going to talk about the press and how Arsenal went man to man and how it was so brave of Arteta to do it and why he did it. Harry Kane's a huge part of it. But I just want to give so much credit to Arsenal and the way, like I said, Bayern Munich, let's go through the match stats. We had 14 shots to their 6, and we had 8 shots there too. But they had 55% of possession, and I think at one point in the first half they'd had 70% of the ball. They were moving like chess pieces constantly, always alternating, whether it be Kane dropping deep or Lima hugging the touchline with Stanisic, I think is the other right back, wasn't it? Yeah, at times Elise was in the 10 with Carl out wide, but they were alternating all the time. Sometimes it was Gnabry on the right, like we saw for the goal. There was constant movement from that Bayern Munich team, but Arsenal opted to go man for man on every single one. And in that first half, we looked a little disjointed in terms of our press and what we were trying to do, but every player stepped up to it. Every player went, I'm backing myself in my duel, and whether they won it or not, they at least committed to it. There were moments where they weren't sure who was picking up who, but they always, even if it was a second or two late, went, right, well, I'm going for it, and showed a bravery to go and trust their teammates to cover. That's what Arsenal did so well in this game. We've got individuals to talk about. The 3 goals, just very, very quickly. On the Bayern goal, at first I thought lewis-skelly, who did have a tough night, I thought he could have done better sort of dealing with the long ball from Kimmich, but it's an unbelievable pass and it's an unbelievable, first time volley cross from Gnabry. Lovely finish from Carl. I don't think there's anything you can do about that. It's just sensational from Bayern, who, like I said, in that first half were good. But good in terms of keeping the ball, moving us around, looking buzzy. They didn't ask many questions of David Raya outside the goal. During Timber scores from a set piece, it's a cheat code for us. We're brilliant at them. And I was asked on Rory Jennings' channel, what do you do from set pieces now Gabriel isn't there? And the player I mentioned was Jurrien Timber. And the reason I mentioned Timber was, if the delivery of the ball's good enough, there are other players who have a decent leap. He scored 2 goals against Leeds, a goal against Man United last season. He is a threat from set pieces, and you saw it tonight. Madueke, brilliant to see him come on and look brilliant on the left. We obviously hope Trossard's okay, but he came on, looked very lively. I thought he did some really good stuff, and then obviously gets the goal to put us 2-1 up. Only 8 minutes later, Gabriel Martinelli. And what I love about Eze and that pass from him is, I think when Arsenal they've showed composure on the edge of the area as they're defending their box. Now, I think Eze probably thinks he could give it to Madueke to the right. That's the obvious and easy pass. But as we've analysed on the Goonerverse before, Eze doesn't like the easy pass. Eze, if he can spot an opportunity to kill a team, he'll do it. And when he launches that ball over the top to Martinelli, I'm thinking, He's through on goal. Take a touch, composure, one-on-one v Neuer. But Neuer, who, like I said this on TalkSport, legend of the game, really invented that sweeper keeper role and has nothing but my respect. I will say he's not someone I particularly like because he's been a part of Bayern teams that have dunked on us time and time again. He comes flying out and he makes the decision for Martinelli. At that point, his pace does it. And once again, in Europe, Martinelli delivers and has a big impact. Good to see us being able to do that with Saka coming off as well, showing the depth and quality in our squad. We've missed Madueke and Martinelli. That is the impact that they can have from the bench. Arsenal demolished Bayern Munich in that second half. We were all over them. And again, the tactic was the same. It was just tweaked. It was elevated. It was improved. And what I mean by that is I think Arsenal players who were through the first half figuring out what Bayern were trying to do and trying to find an answer for it, in the second half had more clarity on what it was that Bayern were going to come with and were able to press more aggressively because they had the confidence to go and do that. And from that, everyone rose a level. Zubimendi, Saliba, Declan Rice, Mosquera, Calafiori came on and was terrific. Everyone went up a level. I will say, I think Mourinho should have scored 2 or 3 goals. I think he missed a lot of good chances when we do the player ratings later. I actually think he's probably the one player, along with Lewis-Skelly, I'm not going to have the most credit to give. But I think there was so much to love about, the way Arsenal saw a very vibrant, unique Bayern side who caused us problems that other teams haven't in general in terms of possession and control of a football match, and then managed to wrestle the game back in their favour. Declan Rice is one of the best, if not the best, central midfielder in the world. I've said this before, he's the best ball-winning midfielder in the world, but I gave him that tag 2 seasons ago. He's now evolving into a player that, for me, I wouldn't swap him. I genuinely, and you can put your names in the comment section below, I wouldn't swap him for anyone in world football. When you're talking attacking midfielders, 10s, 6s, whatever, I would not trade that guy. I think he's unbelievable. And part of it is, yes, his quality on the ball, off the ball. It's his leadership. It's his fight. It's his willingness to drag us through these big games and give us his best performances in these big games. I love Zubimendi. I love the lot of them. I love Saliba. I've got so much love for this Arsenal team. I really, really do. They end the game with an XG of 3.05 to Bayern Munich 0.79. And yes, while I've actually given quite a bit of credit to Bayern Munich for some of the stuff they did today, they were still comprehensively outplayed when you look at the full 90 and didn't get anywhere near our goal enough, nor ask enough questions. And now people are saying, can Arsenal win the Champions League? Can they win the double? Who is going to stop them, especially over 2 legs? And look, I have to humble myself. I have to sit here as an Arsenal fan and go, I have never seen us, me personally, lift the Premier League trophy. I've never seen us get close to the Champions League. 2006 final was actually my first ever game as an Arsenal fan that I watched, but of course I have to pour a little bit of cold water on it and just slow it down. But then you see what the team are giving you and you go, I mean, of course we can win. Of course we can win these competitions. Of course we can. Because that's the level we're seeing with our eyes. Chelsea will be a fascinating and different test to Bayern and Tottenham. But I'm really intrigued to see how we do against another very, very good side, but this time away from home, where maybe the Emirates doesn't fuel us in that way. But we're good away from home. Let's see what we get. Just want to look at the Champions League table very, very quickly. And forgive me while I do. Arsenal sit top. 5 games, 5 wins, 1 goal conceded with a goal difference of 14. We scored 14 goals. So a goal difference of 13. It's the best goal difference in the Champions League. And there are a lot of teams that aren't making light work of this. Liverpool, humiliated at home. I think it might be time. Look, I think it's time to move on from Arne Slot personally. Liverpool fans, if you're watching this, let me know in the comment section what you think. Arsenal fans, I'd love your take on that too. But PSG and Bayern now 3 points behind us. We go to Inter Milan, who just lost to Atletico Madrid. They're in 4th. Real Madrid. And then this seems like Man City, Atletico Madrid, Newcastle, Liverpool, Barcelona, Tottenham with a lot of work to do. Arsenal are making light work of this Champions League campaign. And full credit to them. Arsenal, I have never known a better Arsenal team in my life. I hope this continues. I hope we build on this momentum. I hope players come back and make us even better. Great to see Ben White get on the pitch. Great to see lewis-skelly start, though he struggled. Mascara absolutely up to the level. Erdegaard coming back. Madueke and Martinelli returning and making an impact. It's looking really good. Sunday is huge. Sunday won't be easy. But we can absolutely be confident in what the team are doing. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this match reaction, match report, whatever it is, video. And go check us out on the Goonerverse, where we do a little 30-minute player ratings, a bit of analysis on the press, and look at that in more detail. Subscribe to the Goonerverse and Goonerverse News, but you'll hear on Goonerverse News if you haven't yet and you want more of these. And just thank you all for tuning into all the content. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to know a little bit of my thoughts on the Rodrigo Mendoza links, that's out on the channel as well. Go check that out. But Arsenal have demolished Bayern Munich in that second half and have come out with, for me, a score, performance, and statement that would have sent shockwaves around Europe. And I really, really believe that. A lot of teams, a lot of fans who maybe don't always watch Arsenal week in, week out, and even those who do, would have stood up and took notice and gone, you know, the thing they do on FIFA, you lean forward because suddenly you're taking it seriously. That will have happened with a lot of people keeping an eye on Arsenal tonight. Fair play. The team deserve it. Brilliant effort. Brilliant performance. On to the next.